Thanks for stopping by. Today we are making one of my most favorite summer dishes, coleslaw. Now, if you've been watching our recipes, you know that we've already made coleslaw, a creamy, sweet and savory coleslaw with mayonnaise, which is one of my favorite foods. And I wanted to mix it up a little bit. I want to do something different. I love mayonnaise, but not everything has to have mayonnaise in it. And summer's coming. We've got Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, and all the other cookouts you're going to attend this summer. Why not have another coleslaw that you as a go-to? And this one's even easier. It is sweet and it is tangy and it has no mayo whatsoever. So I've already done all my chopping. I took a head of cabbage and I quartered it, and then I sliced it really, really thin, turned it around and sliced it again, and then added it to the bowl. Now you can use a coleslaw mix if you don't want to take the time to do your own, cabbage, carrots, and onions. That's perfectly fine. I like the freshness that the fresh cabbage brings to the party. And then I sliced up the onion into pieces about this long. I like my onion a little bit bigger in the coleslaw. You can go smaller for sure. Even if you buy the pre-shredded cabbage, you're going to need to add the onion and the green pepper, of which I also added in very, very, not a fine dice, but a medium dice. I didn't want long pieces of the green pepper, just the little specks of it throughout. And then the carrots, what I love to do with the carrots is I have this wonderful flat grater, which I highly recommend. I sit it on top of the bowl and I grate the carrots, and that way I can kind of get an idea of how many carrots I need. I could tell you, oh, put 3 carrots in here, and put a half an onion and a half a green pepper, but it really depends how big your head of cabbage is. So the recipe is going to call for a certain amount, but you put in what works best with the amount of cabbage, and you may like something more of something than another, so you just do what works for you. Like I said, this is a sweet and tangy, and what brings the tang is the apple cider vinegar, which I'm going to put that in. And I've got some sunflower oil. Get that in there. What brings the sweet, of course, is the white sugar. That's going in. But I'm also adding a little bit of honey in here just to kind of mellow out the sugar a little bit, give a different sweet flavor. In my mayo-based coleslaw, which I'll put a link to that up here, I also use honey and sugar. And so now for all the spices, we've got celery salt, kosher salt, onion powder, garlic powder, mix it together in the same bowl. A little black pepper. The black pepper is really going to take the edge off of the sugar. Definitely need it. You're still going to taste the sugar, but it's not going to be quite as sharp. And then some dry mustard powder, which is going to bring a little bit more tang as well. So I'm going to whisk that together. Oh, that's looking good. Okay, it's that easy. Now, all I have to do is pour the sauce onto the cabbage. Okay, so I've got my tong ready for mixing, and so I am going to pour this over. I'm probably going to end up using most of the sauce, but I'm going to start with probably a little bit more than half, and I'm going to get in here with the tong and mix it all together. You can feel it moving through the cabbage. It's getting a little bit slippery in here with the sunflower oil. Just based on how it feels as I'm mixing it, I am going to put in the rest of the sauce. Okay, this feels really good, and I can see that the sauce has really distributed nicely. This is going to be absolutely amazing. The smells. Oh, I smell the sugar, I smell the vinegar, I smell the celery salt, I smell everything. It's going to be so delicious. Now you could eat it right now, just dig in, it would be fantastic. But it really needs to sit in the refrigerator, I'd say 2 to 3 hours. So I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and during that time, maybe not the 2 to 3 hours, but at some point, Rich is going to be out on the grill making some ribs so we can serve it with this coleslaw.
Now these ribs we put in the sous vide, and we'll put a link both in the description below and above on the sous vide versus oven baking the ribs. In our opinion, sous vide ribs is the way to go. Which either direction you go, the ribs will have to be finished on the grill. So these have been on the sous vide 24 hours at 165 degrees, which makes them beautifully, wonderfully tender. Our grill is smoking hot, and we're going to get them on the grill to just put a little color on each side of them. The ribs have been on about 5 minutes or so. The underside has warmed through. So what we're going to do is get a little of our barbecue sauce, and we'll put a link to the description down below for our homemade barbecue sauce recipe. And we like our ribs fairly dry, so we're just going to get a very light coating of sauce on these, just so when I flip them, we get a little bit of caramelization. And oh, these smell fantastic. And remember, these ribs in the sous vide are fully cooked, so all we're doing is warming them through and getting a little caramelization from the barbecue sauce. So we're going to go ahead and flip them over, and you can see how the meat is pulling away from the bone here. That's exactly what you want to see. These ribs are going to be so delicious. And we'll put a light coating of sauce on this side. And we're simply going to let these go for about 5 more minutes, and then we're ready to put our coleslaw and ribs together.
Okay, the ribs are done. The coleslaw has sat in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. It is absolutely delicious. I might have taken a little bit of a bite.
It's really good.
Look at this. How amazing is that? Now, that's a lot of coleslaw.
And a lot of ribs.
It is. I don't think I'm going to eat all this, but it makes for a very pretty plate. So we have a bowl here where you're going to dig in and try this sweet and tangy slaw, mayoless slaw. Okay, I'm going in.
I'm really excited to try this.
Oh my goodness, it's so good. I love the sweetness and the tanginess and the slawness of it. It's really, really good. Has no mayo, and I still love it.
Yeah, and I'm not big on sweet things unless it's for dessert.
Yeah.
And I will say the level of sweetness in this, it's more tangy than sweet, but that sweetness just gives it, oh, it's so good.
And if you want yours to be sweeter, by all means, use more sugar or use more honey. That's what's great about making your own food. You can make it exactly the way you want to.
Yep, and if you know us and you've been hanging out with us for a while, you know that we pair wines with just about all the foods that we do. And since we're going with barbecue, which is grilled meat and tangy barbecue sauce and tangy coleslaw, we went with a Tempranillo, which is typically a Spanish wine. But one of our favorite wineries, Spiro Winery, back in Denver, our hometown, did an American Tempranillo from grapes that were grown in Palisades, Colorado, which is on the western slope. And I think this is going to go perfect, not only with the barbecue, but with this mayoless coleslaw as well. So
Yep.
cheers.
I love me a Tempranillo.
Yeah, it kind of cuts down that sweetness just a little bit.
It definitely does.
And it's got a spiciness and a pepperiness that's going to go well with the pork.
Definitely. Okay, so we have ribs and we have coleslaw. I think we need to eat. So
it's time for dinner.
We're going to say goodbye, and thank you so much for watching. The full recipe for the coleslaw is in the description below, or go to gfexplorers.com and you'll find that and so many more recipes there. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, and give us a thumbs up. A like would be really great. And until next time, happy eating.
Cheers.